when I was thinking about the business planning sessions for 2025, I had a whole range of things we could have spoke about, right? Like when you really think about it, there's no limit to planning, and we can't do all of that with you. I only want to do what I can really help you move the needle with. And so what I wanted to look at was time and money, my two superpowers is time and money, and understanding the balance of those two. And so when I want to start back a month ago, when I talked with you guys about money, do you remember how I shared with you a 10-year vision on money? You guys remember that, where I asked you to put 10, 15, or 20% more each year? Like, did that make you open up your mics, or pop your hands up or put it in the chat? Like, what did you get out of that exercise? What did you see today? What have you worked through? And the answer, if you haven't seen it or haven't done it, hint, hint, do the work. That's why you're here. So for those of you who did the work, raise your little electronic hand. Let me hear we'll do two people for each of them. Riami, when I had you go through the list of a decade of thinking about your vision of what you wanted to make, what did you see with that? What did you learn?
I learned that it's not going to take me, I don't want to take 10 years to do what I like to get to that number where I want to be. I was like, holy, I'm done doing what I'm doing now. I can't do this. Tell myself, I don't even want to do what I'm doing now next year. That's
Yeah,
how, like, I was like, excuse my language here. I was like, this, like,
yeah, it's all
not
good.
doing it anymore. That's it.
We'll put the and put the beep in there for. No, I'm
Thank
joking. You're good. We can say what we want to say here. So Rami, help recap that. You just realized that you wanted to do it faster.
Just
You
realized,
could.
well, faster and smarter. I was like, what do I need to do to leverage my time? And my most valuable thing is not the dollar, it's my time. And I know I can leverage it much better. So it's really helping me think outside the box and how to reach more people, how to do things differently and stop doing the little stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so.
So remember, Rami, put that in the chat so we can refer back to that today. What you just said, the very end of it. Stop doing the little stuff, thinking bigger. Like put that in the chat because I'm probably going to come back to that with our work here. So thank you for sharing that, Rami. Jeff Cavender, what did you get when you wrote down your 10 years?
I'll keep mine more PG for you guys, but yeah. What I realize is that one, that I've done pretty well. Like, looking forward, I was like, okay, I probably have made like 10, 20, 30% jumps in my career, but that I realized that the spot that I'm at now is nearly peaked out at like physical work wise. Like I did 20 million in sales this year. That's a pretty good amount, but my 10-year vision was not staying at this amount that I'm at. And by maybe I could squeak out 25 million and make a little bit extra, but it's not where I want to be. So what it really opened my eyes to was the fact that I cannot hit that goal by doing sales alone. And so
Ooh,
I
you guys
have
catch that?
to look at other avenues.
Yeah. So the work that we do each week has, and I was telling someone about this, might have been one of you guys, 60% of the work that we do each week is what I consider basic, which is not basic, by the way, but it's what I consider basic, that the majority of the people can hear it, use it, and implement it. It's like high level basic. Okay. 30% each week is intermediate, which means you probably got to have a sharpened saw to be able to use that work. Like you're going to have to be able to comprehend, digest, and probably have some past experiences. And then the last part of the work is 10%, which is over most of your heads. Okay, 10% of what I bring each week is over your guys' heads. But 1 to 2 of you are able to catch it. Okay, and I don't stop and break it down like, hey, this is some really advanced that you're going to figure out. Once you start, having a net worth of this, you're going to realize this problem. I don't stop and say that, but I put it in there for those of you who are looking for it. It's there. And what Jeff just said was a great example of this work that we do. I help you think a little differently. Okay, because if you don't change how you think about stuff, you're probably going to get the same results. And I was just I don't have my book here. I was just in a meeting yesterday with Price Pritchett, who wrote U Squared. Some of you guys have got U squared books from us. Price said that if you don't change your thinking, you're probably going to get the same results. And Jeff just said, if I keep selling, I'm going to get maxed out eventually. And then there's always max as to what you do. And you can try to break the box, but when you try to break the box, then things change and possibly in negative ways. So we got to think outside the box. And I know when I wrote down my 10-year vision, I thought there's no one in Fort Wayne, Indiana making $3.2 million selling residential real estate. There's no one where I live making that kind of money. So how the hell am I going to make that kind of money if I'm committed to this vision? How am I going to make that kind of money? Do I want to make that kind of money? Well, do I want to be the type of person that grows every year? And I know it's not, your growth isn't 10% every year. That's not how it's going to work, because as you grow, you'll have to break all of your systems, your thinking, your people. And then what will happen, you'll go back down for just a little bit as you're innovating what you're doing. And then next thing you know, it will come up like this. And so I know it's not like 10 to 20% a year. It's not how it works. But if I'm right here right now and I want to get here, I want to be like this, I know the path is going to go like this. I already know that. And so I want to average, say, 20% a year. Some years might be 40% increase. Some years might be negative 10. But I want to average that. So good job finding that. Let me go to part 2. Part 2 of our business review was this calendar. Okay. 2 people that have done the work, or maybe even just listened to it. What did you learn? What did you see from filling out an entire year in advance? Miss Sharon, I saw you. She learned that March has 4 weeks. Sharon, we already heard that earlier, girl. You got to have some fun with us, Sharon. That's mandatory. What did you learn from, and you can see Sharon's calendar behind her.
Planning ahead was a really like opener, meaning I could see it more. It's not cool. You sit and look at your phone to like, oh wait, where's October? And then my next birthday. When I'm, so I realized that I can see it and make sure. Again, I like the fact that yes, we get contracts all the time. It's like, well, what date is that closing on? Oh, not first off, it's a birthday. I'm not going. So the point I'm saying to you is that it made a big difference in my life. And I want to say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. So what I heard Sharon say is she can see her life now. And my first response is, well, shouldn't we always be able to see our life? Like, isn't that what we'd want to do? But yet, who is teaching us to do this? Sounds crazy at first, right? Shake your hands at me if you think it's crazy at first when you heard it. Should be about half of you. Okay, it's about half. At first, this is crazy. Like, you're telling me, Austin, I'm going to go plan my year in advance? Like, that's crazy. I've never operated that way. Well, let me tell you what I've realized is that your years, if you're alive throughout this year, your year is going to happen. And the question is are you going to live into someone else's year, or someone's going to live into your year? Because life's a lot better when people live into your life than you're always living into everybody else's. And if you haven't figured that out yet, you're going to get another 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road and be like, damn it, I wish I'd have lived a life true to myself and not what others expected of me, which is one of the 5 regrets of the dying, if you've never read that book. Okay, you want to live a life true to yourself. Now, let me show you. Actually, let me go to Tamika first. So, Sharon, thank you for that. Enjoy your calendar this year. Enjoy it. Tamika, what did you get out of this session right here?
Yes. So out of the session, actually, as you were doing it, I realized the conflicts that actually can come up when you're looking at your calendar. So with you, you had your conflicts in October. And so being able to look at it ahead and being able to plan ahead was a wow moment, a ha moment for me. And I thought that was great.
So thank you, Tamika. So let me give you an update from last week. Is I got a call from Real Producers. Anybody know what Real Producers is? Everybody here should know what Real Producers is. I got a call from them and they said, hey, we're going to have our first ever conference for Real Producers. And we'd like for you to speak at it. And I said, oh, when is it? Oh, it's the end of September. I thought, oh, hell no, it's not the end of September. I'm already getting in trouble at that time with my wife. I'm going to add another thing in. And I thought, okay, I can make it fit. It's a very good cause. It's the top real estate agents in the country are going to be invited to this. I could go. I could make this happen. But man, it's not sitting well. So now, Tamika, back to yours. It's like, okay, if I added something else on my plate, then I definitely need to tell the rest no. I need to get this thing ironed out. This thing needs to be solid because my September and October now are having real issues. The only good news about this, September 29th and 30th, is it's during a rest week.
Yeah.
Because I have an obligation to you guys. Okay, when I say, hey, we're going to work on these, everywhere I put a C, we're going to work, my obligation to you guys needs to be in the 80 to 100% range. And when I say 100%, it means that my focus is there. This is my commitment. You guys hearing me here? This is my commitment, which means I don't just find something better and go do that. On the other side of that, my family's more important than you guys. And so I need to make sure my family's rested, they're happy. And so I have to make some adjustments. But what I want to share with you is when you make a commitment, you make a commitment. That's called character. One of the things we'll talk about today, we're going to work on is your confidence. I'm confident because I have a good character. Because when I tell you I'm going to do something, I've analyzed it first. Do I want to do this? Should this fit in my life? If I say yes, then that's what I do. That's my commitment. That's my word to you. How well are you operating on your character? When are you canceling on people, yourself, other people, because you have something better come along? How often are you here? Is this in your calendar? The best thing you'll ever get from Cheviron Live, here it is. And this is not what you guys are looking for, but it's what you need. The best thing you get from Cheviron Live is a commitment in your life of doing what's important and not urgent. It's building your muscle to say, this is important to me because I'm going to learn something today. I'm going to be surrounded by a community of like-minded people who are working on themselves. This is not urgent. All the other stuff you have in your life is. So how do you build the muscle to say what's important to me is more valuable in my life, and I will stay committed to that compared to whatever urgency somebody's giving me? And I get there's one-offs, okay? Some of you guys had a one-off last week. I get it. But those are called exceptions and not rules. The rules are, I will see your ass on January 7th, 14th, 21st, February 4th, 11th, and 18th. I will see you because I made that commitment. And if you don't want to make that commitment, then don't make the commitment. You guys see what I'm giving you right now? Don't make the commitment if you don't want to commit, if you can't commit. Because some of you guys are walking around trying to figure out, when is this ever going to change for me? And the problem is, until you change, the situation's not going to change. You're not showing up. You're not staying committed to who you are and your other people in your life. You're not communicating at a good level. You're not learning and growing. You're not surrounding yourself with the people you need to be surrounded with. Like that's how you get somewhere. That's how you move the needle. You show up. If Tucker doesn't show up, and I know when Tucker shows up, by the way, if Tucker doesn't show up and he wants something, you know what I think? He's not committed. If he's not going to commit, why should I commit? Right? Like, why should I commit if he's not going to commit? I'll take you take 2 steps, I'll take 1 step. Why will I take 1 for your 2? Because it's your life. I don't ask for you guys to walk with me. It'd be a hell of a walk. Tucker takes 2, I take 1. Riami, you take 2, I take 1. Tamika, you take 2, I take 1. I'll show up with you. But you got to do more of the work. Let me show you some goodies here. I'm going to go back. So I'm going to give shout outs for this training right here was taught to me by a guy named Brian Buffini. Brian Buffini, if you remember, if you guys ever got it, Brian would send a year's calendar to you. Thought this was crazy. This is 2014, a decade ago. 2014's calendar right here. Brian would send it to me. And then guess what? 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. I got smart. You know what I did? I bought myself a damn board and I started just using the board. But before then, I'd take a piece of paper like this he would send me, and I would tape this up on my wall so I could see it. Now, I wanted to share with you some of the goodies from 2015. 2016, I apologize. Let me share with you some of the goodies from 2016. My calendar. I told you last time, no excuse. If you don't want to spend $100 on a board, then go spend $50 on something. If you don't want to spend $50 on something, then go get some blank pieces of paper and make your own months with a ruler and a pencil. There are no excuses in life. Just get the job done. Okay? 2016. Here it is. Right here at top, I wrote my books I was reading because one of my goals was to read so many books. And so I kept track up here. The Power of Habits, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, Start with Why, Crucial Conversations, Eaters Eat Last, Unmarketing, 7 Levels of Communication, Time Traps. Oh, I remember Time Traps. Miracle Morning, U Squared, Outliers, Good to Great, Law of Success, The Power of Others, Into the Fire, The Strangest Secret, Fascinating. Like I literally have all the books I was reading right here and I kept track of them. I used my calendar to help me keep track. Does anybody else see what else I was keeping track of there? My weight. I was keeping track. Look, I literally wrote my weight down every week. There's my weight. And then I started a new thing down here. Look, I was just trying not to break the chain. Oh, that was my look. I even labeled it blue equals no alcohol days. I went a whole month and a week without drinking. So you can use your calendar for more than just dates and things. You can start to track your goals on them. If I were to show you each year that I've kept mine, you'd probably see the progression of how I went from being a real estate agent, selling in 2014, I probably closed 40 some homes and worked my progression, what my thoughts were working and how I was using my calendar. And what I started to learn and building that muscle. And now some of you guys are like, well, yeah, Austin, but you're there and I'm here and I can't see all that yet. Yeah, well, you just got to work on it like I did. You just got to work. The good news is you get the shortcut. It's not going to take you a decade if you do this. It might take you 2 years to learn what I learned in a decade. Because I'm showing you, here's where I start with. You want to know the funniest thing? Two things I've learned when filling this out. One is get your dates right, because if you miss your dates by one day, the whole thing's wrong. That sucks. 2, use a wet erase marker. Wet erase. Because if you use a dry erase and then when you go to erase something, which you'll be erasing on this all year, it will take your dates out. Why do I start with those 2 things? Because they'll save you time. They'll save you time. Okay, so for today, I wanted to finish this with 2 things. One is I will end with having a conversation about a daily schedule. Okay, so we did the year. Now I want to go into the day and help you think about what needs to go into my day. Because as Jeff Cavender said earlier, if you're not thinking smarter and thinking something's going to have to change and moving things around, then you just think working harder is going to solve the problem. 1 second. Okay, it is story time in the Cheviron household here. You guys ready for story time? And some of you guys have heard this before. And the good news, it's a shorter story, so it's not going to take long. First off, this is a true story. And I've read this to you guys before, who's been in here long enough. This is Price Pridgett, by the way. Price is 82 years old. He is one of the, this guy's a badass. That's all I can say. And here it is. It says, I'm sitting in a quiet room in the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees about an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to a desperate sound of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away from me. There's a small fly out. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energy in an attempt to fly through the glass of a window pane. The wings tell a story of the fly's strategy. Try harder. But it's not working. The frenzy's effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It's impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its entire life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. The fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is wide open. 10 seconds of fly time, and the small creature could reach the outside world as it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could free itself of the trap. A breakthrough possibly is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach, something completely different? How did it get so locked in the idea of this particular route and determined effort offered the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer a real promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes on a breakthrough, on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances of success. Price Pritchett. I've read that story probably 100 times. Okay. Where am I in life trying to try harder and harder and harder and thinking that, okay, if I want to increase my income by 20% next year, I'm going to work 20% harder. And where do we really slow down and start to analyze, okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? How does it stack with everything else? Where are my opportunities? Where are my liabilities? Because trying harder, it will only provide so much. It might, in fact, kill you. And so as we work through some of these things, the rest of our time here, about another half hour, I want you to think differently. I mean, we all deal with this. And I'm going to get here real quick. What I want you to do is to find just one thing that we need to do differently next year that will move the needle for us. And how are we thinking different? Why would we do something different than we currently do? Why would I get uncomfortable? Some of you are going to need to get uncomfortable. Why would I get uncomfortable to do this? What needs to change? Where am I missing? Where do I not even have the right thinking right now? Where's my thinking need to be improved? And today I want to talk about two things: the daily calendar, but I also want to talk about your energy. Yes, 2025 planning, I'm looking at your time, your money, and your energy. And so right now, I'm going to give you 4 main components of how I look at energy. I want you to write these down. First one, sleep. These are basic things. You know it, but you're not doing it. Sleep, number 1. Nutrition, number 2. Exercise, number 3. And our favorite, drugs and alcohol, number 4. Some of you guys are laughing now. Yeah, those are 4 things of energy. Some good, some not so good. I want you to rate those 4 on where you're doing your best and where you're doing your worst. Let's put a 1, 2, 3, or 4 next to it. Identify it yourself right now. Oh, I didn't forget about the people, Riami. It's just in a different section. Because there's, as Rami put in the chat, you forgot about people energy. Well, no, there's actually about 1,000 different forms of ways you can get energy. I'm just identifying the 4 ones that I can talk about. I can talk about sleep, talk about what you put in your mouth. I can talk about your exercise, and I can talk about alcohol and drugs. Okay. Let me ask you a question. What one thing with these 4, if implemented in 2025, will have the greatest impact positive on your energy? Is it your sleep? Is it what you put in your mouth? Is it your exercise? Or is it maybe less of a consumption of alcohol and drugs for you? I'm not asking you guys to be perfect. I'm not asking you. I just want to know, like, if you want to perform, okay, you guys want to laugh? We're real in here, right? Can we be real here? Does anybody have a problem with not being real in here? If so, send me a message privately. I'll have a conversation with you to make sure this is the right place for you. In 2017, I did a study on the effects of hangovers and how much they would affect my work. So I purposely went into work for 30 days hungover. Okay, I'm not joking here. I experimented with a bunch of things. Who do you know that's done this, huh? So I went into work trying to figure out, okay, if I came in hungover every day with all these different types of hangovers, how well would I perform? And I documented what level of ability I would have when I was hungover, because sometimes I said, hey, I could have 2 drinks at night and come in the next day and fucking crush it, right? Right? Like, I can have 2 drinks and crush it. Not so much, Austin. You can't, even though you think you can. The reality is you can't. And so I went about 30 days experimenting with hangovers. I could only imagine what everybody else thought. So what I did is I documented what percentage of energy did I have in focus. And what I realized is that I could never work at 100% when I was hungover. Now, this was a huge realization. I could never be 100% if I was hungover. I was anywhere managing between 80, probably even 75% on my best days. And sometimes I experimented a little too much and I was down into like the 30 to 40% range. And you guys know what I'm talking about. That's you right now. Some of you coming in like, well, I barely made it today. I get it. It's okay. No judgment. I just did it with a purpose. And here's what I realized is that if I come into work hungover and I'm working between 40% and 75% that day, I can never get ahead. The best I can do is manage what I have. Hope you guys are hearing me right now. The best I can do is manage what I have. When I was really hungover, I couldn't even manage what I had. I was just trying to make sure the thing didn't blow up in my face. Here's why I'm sharing that with you. Some of you guys right now are coming in a little too hungover. No judgment on my end. I'm not judging you. Some of you are coming a little too hungover. And what's happening is you're getting to the end of your year wondering, why am I not where I wanted to be? Well, the problem is you took a bite out of your potential, 2 times this week, times 2 times next week, times 2 times the next week. And you're working at 60% one day and 70% one day and 40% another day. And barely any of those days are you able to put in 100% of your effort. What's truly inside of you, what's inside of your mind. You can't get clear enough to put A and B together. You just can't get clear enough. And so I wanted to openly tell you, I did a study on myself and found out that if I continue to do this, I will never live up to the potential that I have. It's just a fair statement, right? Anybody disagree with that? If I come in hungover, that I'll live up to the potential that's inside of me? I found that I can't. And then I had to ask myself a question. Is that the life that you want to live? that is for you, great. Go nail it. If it's not, then we have to address these problems. Okay, let me go to energy drainers. Riami, this is our different personalities, by the way. Where's your face at? I want to see you real quick. So Riami said, when I'm talking about energy, she goes, where's the people? Well, I put the people in a different bucket. Okay, I put the people in the energy drainers. Not that they don't build you up, but when I look at my energy drainers in 2025, the first thing I want to identify is some people. What people in your life are sucking the energy out of you right now? Write at least one name down and don't show it to anybody. And if they're in the room, write a different name. Now's not the time to have that conversation. What people are sucking your energy out of you in a very negative way? Now, because I want to balance the negative with the positive, let's also write somebody's name down who's filling you up with the right energy. Who is that person? Write their name down. Who's the first person you think about? Like, damn, this person pours into me. They are a +1 every time they're around me. They just pour into me. They don't take anything away. They pour into me. Everybody write a name down? Good. I want you to grab your phone and text that person real quick. Just say, I appreciate you. Thank you for always pouring into me. I'm not joking right now. Tina, come on, girl. Grab your phone. I'm watching you. So I'm serious with this because they don't have to. They don't have to pour into you. They choose to. You've just identified this is a positive in your life. Be appreciative of it because it could go away real quick. Just send them a quick little text message. Thank you for always pouring into me. It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you. Take 30 seconds. Don't think about what do I have to say. Just put thank you for always pouring into me. I appreciate you. It doesn't go unnoticed. So they don't have to pour into you, but you've just identified this as a positive person. Now that negative person, what I want you to do is come up with the plan. We're not going to text them right now. Maybe you should though, but I'm not giving you that advice. I want you to think about a plan on how to limit your time with them in 2025. And I said the word limit. You might not be able to get rid of them 100%. It might be your neighbor, and you can't get rid of them. And you got to go back and say, what should I do with this? That's something you got to work on. Another energy drainer. Thank you for playing along with me. You just made somebody's day, by the way. You did for everybody. Send it to. Give me a thumbs up or hand up on the call here if you sent the text out. Give me an electronic hand. I want to see everybody who did it. This is important. Yep. Figure out a way to raise your electronic hand, Alfredo. I see your personal hand. I want the electronic hand. We got 3 people now. 4. Come on. It's a race. Let's go. There, boy, Corey. Come on. Everybody in the room do it, Corey. Hang on. Everybody in the room do it. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. I didn't want to cut short all of us. The electronic hand. Come on. Keep it going. Hi, Lisa. Camera on, Lisa. I want to see you, girl. What are you doing? If you're here, then put your camera on. I want to see you. Let's go. Who else did it? If you haven't sent the text, that's fine. I mean, if you get anything out of day, to give somebody some love and appreciation who pours into you, right? Sharon, I got you. I see that. Come on. Who else? All good. I'm going to give this about another 10 seconds. Come on. There we go. Thing just said, looks like you're done talking, so we'll lower your hand in 2 seconds. Maybe that's what's happening with everybody. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Energy drainers still. Energy drainers. One thing that I found that drains your energy is when you have too much on your plate. You have too many focuses. Okay? There's just too many focuses. And so what do you need to eliminate off of your plate right now? Identify it. If you're driving, don't write anything down, but identify right now, what is something that you could remove off of your plate that could take away from your energy going in maybe the wrong direction? Just identify what's something you could take off your plate. It's still 2024. We got time. What's something you can take off your plate that would give you back some of your energy? By the way, this is a question you should ask all the time. Well, looks like we found some had to download the option to raise your hand. Love that, Lee. Okay, let me go the opposite of energy drainers. Let me go energy boosters. So I found I get an energy booster when I make sure my work, that thing you do for money called work, when that aligns with your vision. How simple is that? When you can get your work aligned with your vision, it's an energy booster. So think, now that might require some time and energy from you guys to figure out, what is my vision, Austin? What am I trying to do? Well, if you need help, we do that in the Agent Success Program in Module 1, where we help you with that. Establishing your goals and what are you here for and how does it all work and how do you create a focus? Well, when you get your work in alignment with your vision, it's an energy booster. So the opposite of that quickly is, where is your work not in alignment with your vision? Identify and address it right now. Write it down at least. If it hits you in the head, write it down. Identify it. The next one, energy boosters. When you create momentum, you build confidence. And I've always said, if I could give each and every one of you one thing, it'd be confidence. Because when you have confidence and you have momentum, your energy it's almost exponential. So where at in your life and your business are you building momentum and you're building confidence? Where are you doing that? Over the last 4 months, we've talked a lot about wealth, having our wealth program launch here in November. Well, one of the things in the wealth program that I talk about, where is Miss Lisa? Can you turn your camera on? I wanted to ask you a question. You're the only one with your camera off. Doesn't that seem a little odd? Come on, girl. If you can come back, let me see you. And one of the things I've been working with Lisa on in building momentum and confidence is spending 15 minutes a morning looking at your financials. 15 minutes. It's not that long. But once you start doing it, you address the beast, you start doing it, what you'll find is you'll find momentum and confidence. Like, I like this now. I'm getting it. No problem, Lisa. Thank you for communicating. And then you'll build momentum and confidence, and it'll give you a booster to go work on your money. Last two things here before I work on this calendar. Ways to reset. Ways to reset. One way, it's already done for you. It's a rest week. It's a maintenance week. Now, yes, you're still going to have to work to a certain extent because you guys signed up for a 24/7 job that you're fighting to make like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You're fighting to make it that. But you signed up for 24/7. So the reality is rest week. Yes, you still might have to work, but rest week should be more of your maintenance and rest and getting into planning and organizing and handling those bigger projects. So for me, that's one of the ways I get to reset so I can run is my rest week. Some of you guys right now, your quantum leap is one rest week away. Just understanding what the rest week is and how that fills into the rest of your life. You see it on my boards here. You see it behind me, rest week. You put it in your calendar, but you don't know what it means yet because you haven't lived it. You don't know how to organize your work and how to condense it. The last thing that helps me reset is I like to take a little walk in the woods. Mother Nature, going back to Mr. David Allen, thinking time, a little walk in the woods. So you're going to need to find ways for you to reset because running hard your entire life, there are no prizes for that. Just telling you right now, there are no prizes. If you think there are, I spent 35 years of my life watching entrepreneurs run as hard as they can, and they're at the end of the day, they're not where they want to be. Slow down, get focused. Don't be that fly that keeps flying into the wall. or the window and think that if I just work harder, I'll get there. It's not how it works. That's why I read you that chapter out of Price's book. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, let me ask this question. Use in the chat. When is your energy the best? Put it in the chat for me. When is your energy the best? This is not a trick question, by the way. It is something that I've had to ask myself multiple times. When is my energy the best? Is it best at 8 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, 11 a.m., 3 p.m.? When is my energy the best? Maria, you got me laughing. Send some chocolate to Maria if you want her to work well. But okay. The majority of our answers are before 12 o'clock. And that's not for everybody, but for the majority of us, it's 12, which means I got to put my best work in the morning, right? Like your best work has to lie with your best energy. If you do your worst work with your best energy and your best work with your worst energy, you're going to go through an entire year. You're going to say, Austin, I can't figure it out. Yeah, because you got it all wrong. Like, stop swimming up current. You got to swim down current. Stop working so hard and work smarter. If I know the best things, the best energy I have is normally before noon, then I need to put my best work before noon. So the question is what becomes my work? Down put 2 to 6. Now, there's things in there that could change. Okay, could change you based off of certain other scenarios in life. Let's say you work third trick somewhere and you go to bed at who knows what time. It's not time what time I go to bed. Well, maybe your best time then is 2 to 6. You got to figure that out, and then you got to figure out, well, what do I normally have to work on? And so let me show you guys this here. Okay, let me come back here. I'm gonna rattle off some of the things that I know have to go on my day that I want to focus on. So the first thing, I know this is gonna seem small, but I gotta wake up. I gotta wake up, right? I hope I wake up every day. So I know I gotta wake up. Well, I want to actually figure out what time do I want to wake up. Like, if you guys ask yourself the question, what time do I want to wake up? Half of you have, half of you haven't. It's a damn good question to ask yourself. What time do I want to wake up? Why do I want to wake up at that time? Well, what do I think about after I wake up? The next question is what time do I need to go to bed? Time do I need to go to bed? Very simple stuff. I can tell you, since my son and daughter have gotten in sports, my bedtime's gotten later. Because they're not home. My daughter don't get home until 10 o'clock. And I have to ask myself, do I want to be up when she's home or do I want to be in bed sleeping? And I got to work through that, which then changes my wake up time. The next thing I'm putting in here, what time do I want to eat dinner? I like to eat dinner with my family. Some of you know, every night at 5 o'clock, I eat dinner with my family. It's just my priority. Now, let me pause here for a second. You guys remember when I was doing this? Okay. You know, the one thing that wasn't in here as much as maybe some of you would have thought is my work. Right? And I'm stopping here for a reason. I'm showing you a clue. Okay. The reason why the work's not in here and you saw more of my family is because if my family's right, then the work is simple. The work is simple. It's your family, it's your personal life that's getting in the way of your work. Get yourself right, get your family right. The work's easy. It's very simple. If anybody here wants to make more money next year, make more calls. What else are you looking for? Make more calls. Call people back, improve your communication. I can tell you how to make more money. The problem is you're not, because you're going to bed way too late. You're not waking up and worrying about yourself. Your family time's not here. Like, these are the problems that we have to deal with if we want to increase our business. After that, I'm going to go to my morning routine. Okay, I'm going to write these down. I'm going to show you how I put these in my life. After my morning routine, I got to work on my lead gen. Okay, I'm also going to add in some admin time. For those of you who don't have an admin, congratulations, you don't have that time problem. Next, big thing I've been working with you guys on starts with an F. Anybody have a clue? Put it in the chat if you know where I'm going here. What's this thing that begins with an F? Come on, somebody's going to do it.
Finances.
Financials. All those answers are right, by the way, that you guys put. After financials, I'm putting sellers and buyers. Why do I put them in? Because they're our clients and we got to communicate with them consistently. If me and you went up against a listing together, I would dominate you because I have better communication than you and I can explain it. You think it's your marketing, it's not, it's the communication. Number one thing, why do they refer you? It's because they trust you. Why do they trust you? It's because you communicate with them. Very simple. Somebody in here right now needs to up their communication. You want more business next year, call your people back, have a scheduled time with them. I'll show you what this looks like here in a second. I'm gonna do two more. I've talked about this, thinking time. You need some thinking time. And the next one, Mr. Darren Hardy taught me, are jam sessions. What's a jam session? That's a 90-minute session in which you get the world out of your face, out of your head, and you just focus on whatever you need to focus on. We call those jam sessions. You need some jam sessions in your week. You guys have things that take a mass amount of concentration, but because you run around with your phones on all day and you think it's a badge of honor that you always answer your calls, which I get, like in the amateur world, it's great. Like, hey, you answer your call, great. I'm in the world is like, I never answer my calls. If you call me, I never answer. Why? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. What I'm supposed to be doing is not waiting for you to call me. Unless we said, if any of you ever text me, it's like, hey, we'll talk. You'll hear me say, I'll turn my phone on for you. Because when I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's not waiting and being reactive to say, well, if someone calls me. I know some of you might not agree with that. That's okay. But for me, I need to focus. Who said focus? Mr. Alex Burns. I need to focus. I need to work smarter, not harder. Okay. Now you see, there's 1,000 other things that I did not put on here. Why? Because they're not as important. Yes, you gotta do everything else. You just gotta fit that stuff in. Right? You just gotta fit it in. You got appointments, you got closings, you got all this work. You got to fit the work in. This stuff is crucial. If you don't get this right, the work is just not as important. For one of you or many of you, this is what you need to be thinking about. Which one of these right now, before I put it in my calendar here in the last 8 minutes, which one of these are your biggest weakness right now? Do you not have a wake-up time and no one can expect you at a certain time? Or are you not going to bed at the time you should go to bed? Are you not spending time with your family? I call it dinner. That's when we first get together after my work day. There's your morning routine, which for some of you could be a night routine if you're night people. I'm not here to judge. I just want to help get you better. Does your lead gen suck? Yes, it does for most of you. Your lead gen sucks. It's horrible. No wonder you didn't make the money you wanted to make this year. It's because you didn't do the job. Your lead gen sucks. Jam session, Noah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you an example on a jam session. Give me a second here. For those of you who have an admin, are you not investing enough time with them? Are you not giving them enough clarity and direction of the work? Financials. I can tell you none of you guys are working my financials. 15 minutes in the morning, an hour on Fridays. Seller and buyer communication. I would say 80% of you right here, right now, don't know what it's like to keep a listing for 150 days and to keep people happy and to understand how do you get referrals and you build an opportunity just because you haven't been around in those times. Well, I'm going to give you a hint. When the market changes, those who are winning right here are going to win. They're going to win. And this is just a consistent habit over and over and over. Thinking time. When are you taking your walk in the woods? It's not urgent. It's just important. And the last one are jam sessions. Somebody asked what jam sessions are. Jam sessions, distraction free. The best thing I can tell you is set a timer on your phone. Turn your phone on silent, no vibrate, get it away. Set a timer for 90 minutes. That way your head knows there's a ticking time bomb until you're done. Your phone will automatically let you know when it's done, when it's on silent. And for 90 minutes, you do what the world doesn't, which is called focus. What do you focus on? Whatever the heck you need to focus on. Maybe it might be your financials. It might be creating a listing package. It might be saying, how do I follow up better with my clients after I get a referral? My follow-up sucks. What system and process could I make? It might be an hour and a half working on your calendar, working on any of these things that I work on you with. Called jam sessions, distraction free. Okay. Let me show you how I plug these things into my calendar here. I'm going to adjust this down if I can. Shit. Okay, good enough. Let me show you how I'm looking at this. Okay, I'll start with dinner. Very important. Dinner is 5 o'clock Monday through Friday. It's been in my calendar for 7 years now. Maybe more, maybe a damn near, maybe might be 12. This is just in my calendar. It's my appointment. Noah, me and you do not have a meeting at 5 o'clock. Are we clear? Noah? Good. Okay. I'm watching you. So I'm like, yeah, like we're clear. Me and you do not have a meeting at 5 o'clock. Noah, open up your mic. Why don't we have a meeting at 5 o'clock?
I think there's two Noahs. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, there's two Noahs. That's why I was confused.
Oh, perfect. Well, I was talking to both of you. So I was just seeing which one of you are more on your toes. So, okay.
We don't have an appointment because you have dinner at 5 o'clock.
I have dinner at 5 o'clock because this is a me thing. It's not about you and what you want in your life. It's about me and what I want and what I value. Okay. Here's what I can tell you. When I told my clients I have dinner at 5 o'clock, they respected me more. They referred me more. You guys want more referrals? Tell your clients you have boundaries. Like, damn, you have boundaries. Yes. And you are part of my boundary issues. You try to get into my boundary issues. I try to keep you out. Because seller and buyer communication, when I talk to you, Mr. Seller and Buyers, is I talk to you between 2 and 5 consistently. I put 1 there. Apologize. I talk to you between 2 and 5 on Fridays. I have a weekly call with you. Now, I might talk to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, too, if we're in negotiations or things like that. But you will hear from me every Friday between these hours. It's the last thing I do before I go. And if I don't call you and give you an update, you can fire me. You know how I won 98% of my listing appointments? Is because I told them every Friday, Mr. Seller, Miss Seller, you'll hear from me at these hours. Every Friday, you'll hear from me. And if I ever don't call you, you can fire me. How's that? Can you be that consistent? Next, financials. I'm going to carve off 15 minutes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm going to carve off an hour on Friday to work on my financials. 15 minutes. It's what we train Module 10 of our wealth program. 15 minutes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're just adjusting things and seeing what hit and what didn't hit and what's coming. And then on Friday, you're realigning your financials to your vision. Where are you trying to go and what do you have? It's a bigger project. Okay. I train this in the wealth program. I can't train it all right now, but that's where I'm doing that. Wake up. I'm waking up at 5 o'clock. Let's say that's my time. Monday through Friday. Or maybe I don't do it on Wednesdays. I use Wednesday as a little rest day. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then after that, I do my morning routine. But I don't do that morning routine on Wednesday because I'm not waking up that early. I'm giving myself a little break. Mr. Alex Burnt, you got to give yourself a little break. You can't just do things all the time. You got to have some rest or you won't be as consistent. You'll burn out. Next, lead gen. I do my lead gen, the most important thing for my business. I do it in the morning. I have the best energy. I do my best work in the morning. So between 8 and 10, Monday. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know I'm just putting X's right here right now, guys. It'd be better if I put what it is, but I'm trying to hurry up and finish for you. I did our lead gen Monday through Thursday on our rest weeks. I didn't do it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And as a team, I led a team to this schedule, and we had one of the top teams in the nation. 3 weeks a month. Sharon, sometimes it's 4. But on average, 3 weeks a month, Monday through Thursday, we did our lead gen for 2 hours. And we dominated. There's my lead gen. Next, my admin. Right after my lead gen, I'm going to work with my admin for about a half hour. Make sure they're on the same page, same track. They know what work to do. Good, we're situated. I got all this stuff right after my lead gen. Now it's time to dump it to my admin and get it moving. Just cut more here. I'll leave bed to you. Here's how I figure out when I go to bed. 7 to 8 hours before I wake up. So what time do you need to wake up to get your morning routine in, to get your lead gen in the morning? Like, how does your morning need to work? And then 7 to 8 hours, depending on how much sleep you want, that's when you go to bed. Okay, you just work it backwards. Jam sessions. I would say 2 a week would be great if you could do that for yourself. 2 a week. When would I do that? Mondays are going to be pretty busy for you. So you're definitely looking at like a Friday. I'm going to take 2 hours here on a Friday. Remember, 90 minutes is the key. 90-minute jam sessions. And then you're going to want to find one more. Maybe you're going to do it on a Saturday. As you see right now, I haven't put anything in Saturday or Sunday. The only thing I would put in, if I had to put something in, would be this time would be for my family with church, and then after church, this is my family time. I might do some work right here, but the work I'm going to do down here on Sunday is going to be more planning. Okay, and maybe scheduling some lunches for the following week. Maybe looking at some money, maybe sitting down watching football with my family, doing some of that stuff. On Saturday, what I might do is I might put a 4-hour block in there for work and say, hey, if anybody wants to see houses, if I need to communicate with anybody, that I can work right here if I want. Last one, thinking time. When can you get in quality thinking time? And here's what I'll tell you. As the day goes on, your time gets squeezed. As the days go on, as you go from here to here to here to here and here, you're getting squeezed down here. Okay, this is where all your problems you got to figure out. This is where all the phone calls. So we got to do our most important work up here when you're not getting squeezed. Why did we start a lead gen at 8? Because I had 1 hour before our agent's phone started to ring. From 8 to 9, no one's up normally. No one's working. So that's where we got ahead. If you try to put your lead gen down here, you got way too many things going on in your day. You're way too distracted and you're not focused enough on the big picture. We're working on it, but you're not going to be focused on the big picture. You're going to be focused on the appraisal getting cut compared to making 10 new appraisals happen over the next quarter. You're just not that good. It's hard for me to be that good. So we got to do what's important in the morning and what's urgent later down in the day. Okay? This is my ideal schedule for you. something of this nature. Now, you're going to have your own things that you need to put in this mix. You're going to have your own life. You might take kids to school. You might have something going on Friday mornings. That's what you got to work on and you got to think through. What I wanted to share with you today is how do I make a plan for my schedule, my energy for 2025 to set myself up for success at a level in which I haven't got to yet. If you want to achieve something you haven't achieved, you're going to have to do things you haven't done. And somebody might say, well, Austin, I want to work during this time to earn more income. Well, maybe what you need to do is spend time with your husband or your wife or your kids. Tell all your clients that you put your family first and see if they refer you. Because my business damn near doubled when I did this. And I could tell Maria, hey, I'd love to get on a call with you, but you know what? My wife and family is more important than you. That's how I make sure I keep you a priority, is because I got this stuff handled. And you don't have to worry about me having a bad relationship with my spouse or my kids or myself and that getting into the way of our work together. I'll make sure I'm good. But just to let you know, this is when I do it. And no matter what you got going on, you're not going to make the determination that it's more important for me to do whatever you need to do than with my family. I'll make that determination, never you. You don't have that right. No, do I take calls after 5? Yep, I do. But you better bet in my voicemail, I always said in my voicemail, it's Austin, if it's after 5 o'clock or on the weekends, I'll call you back the next business day. And so if I ever called you after 5, there's a 50% chance the first thing you would tell me is thank you. Because I set the expectation and I set the boundary that this is where I work and this is how I play right here. And I'll kill it during that time. But after that time, there's no expectations for you to me. But let me tell you this, Noah, when I call you at 6 o'clock and I talk to you, you're like, thank you so much. I say, no, if you appreciate this, just refer somebody to me is all I ask you, bud. That's all I ask. Just refer someone to me. But I set the expectations that I'm not working at 8 o'clock at night because you called me and you want me to. It's not how I work. Because at the end of the day, we all want to work with someone who's good, right? Like you want to work with the best of the best, someone I don't have to babysit. I don't have to care for. I don't got to wonder what the hell they're doing. Well, the people that have boundaries and they communicate boundaries and then they kill it within their work, I don't got to worry about. And if Austin says, hey, he doesn't negotiate at 7 o'clock at night because he needs to be sharp when he's dealing with my $500,000. And he communicated that to me that, hey, when I negotiate for you, Noah, I'm going to be negotiating $500,000 of your money, not mine. And when I get down here, my brain is fried because I kill it during the day. So what I'd like to do is to negotiate your stuff here. Now, I understand if it's a one-off scenario that I might have to negotiate it here. I get it. But my rule is going to be, Noah, it's your $500,000 and you're paying me a lot of money to do this. I would like to do it when I'm best. Noah, do you want to have brain surgery at 7 o'clock at night after the doctor had a 12-hour shift?
No, sir.
No, because there's a chance you'd be dead. You want to say, let me be that first person in the morning, maybe the second. I don't want to be the person getting brain surgery at 7 o'clock, but you guys wear it like a badge of honor, working at 7, 8 o'clock at night, like it's a badge of honor. It's really, you're doing crappy work for your clients, but you're wearing it like, hey, I work all the time. Well, maybe that's part of the problem why you're not getting referred is because the quality of your work's not there and you're wearing it like I'm working all the time, like it's a badge of honor. Where you really need to be saying, I have boundaries. I know what I do and who I am. I crush it. That's why you were referred to me, is because I crush it, because I have boundaries. And I will bust my ass between these hours for you. And if I have to do something down here, I will. But it's my choice, not yours, Noah. It's my choice. And if that doesn't work for you, you can go find another real estate agent. You can go find another loan officer. I'm not going to let you down. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to let you down, but you're going to come into my standards because I'm the professional. See the difference there? I'm the professional. You're hiring me. It's like you go into your doctor and saying, hey, doctor, for this surgery, I'd like for you to do it this way at this time, at this cost. Imagine you going in for brain surgery and saying, hey, doctor, I'd like to do it at 7 o'clock at night because I work during the day. And oh, by the way, 130,000 isn't going to work for me. How about 9,000? Oh, and I don't want to do it where you want to do it. I want to do it this way. Like, that shit would never work. But yet we let our clients do that to us all the time. 9 minutes over. Man, this never happened. I apologize, everybody. I'm on a roll here. Get this right next year. Get your schedule right. Think a little different. Do things a little different. Put the good things in. Here's a sample of the good things. I didn't put all the other stuff in there. I just put the good things. This is what's going to help you 10%, 15%, 20% your income next year. And the reason why you're here, this is going to help you live a better life. The working's the easy part. The balancing it and making sure our wife and our husband and our kids and we're happy, that's the hard part. And that's worth more than the work. Now, don't get me wrong when I say that. I crushed it. I crushed the work. But I also crushed the life. Get them both. Win twice. Figure this out. Figure this out. Get into your 10-year vision. Get into your 12 months planning here. What do I have going on? Anticipate what's coming. Put in the family. Get the good things in here. Make sure you're at your daughter's cheer and your son's baseball. Get that stuff done. If you want to grow your business, get your family right. You get your family wrong, your business takes a hit. It's simple, but not many people are teaching us this. You don't get awards in your brokerage for best husband of the year. You get the best sales of the year. Well, guess what? The sales destroyed your relationship. It's not going well for you. You see what I'm saying? Let's get the good stuff right first. The work's the easy part. We'll fit the work in. Get the good stuff right.